Okay, so it's 6:06 on the 17th. So it's the 17th. It's our year of the fireworks. We hope it's coming in blazing. The it's weird because I have my phone sitting here, so I was sitting on the phone, and then it's weird. I got to get used to this whole little setup. Um, the and right before I started, I had looked at my phone and it was 555, and then when I looked at it again, it was 6:06. So, anyways, it's feeling like things are syncing up. Hopefully, but oh my god, I'm finding so much stuff irritating. God, I'm so irritable. I'm so irritated. Okay, I'm gonna sit back for. And I decided to wear plaid pants today, even though they have a little bit of white and black, but it's got all colors. So hopefully it's suitable for the new year, because you're supposed to wear red because it brings in prosperity. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm bringing in celebration and prosperity because these pants are celebrating. So, anyways, oh, okay. So last night, where I went to in my dream, it was there's lots of people who say they all go to this mall and they meet up. Okay, the one mall that I went to, that I knew I was at the mall when I saw the guy with the blue eyeballs, and he was trying to suck me into his eyeballs. The That mall, I felt like I was at the mall of in Spokane, and the people were coming up the escalator, and it was the same setup, and so I felt like I was standing right there in that mall, and I was watching the people, and they were just like shadows. It was like they were just shadows of themselves, and they were just going around, or just like robotic, and then the guy standing across. So where I was like in front of like J.C. Penney's, and then there's an escalator coming up there, but J.C. Penney's has like a little hallway thing. So I'm standing here. So it's kind of a big space across to the other store that's like catty corner kind of, and that's where the guy was standing. And then it went down a hall, the same halls at the mall and stuff. So it just looked like a regular mall, like that, that I was used to. But the guy with the eyeball thing, that was, it was like, I don't know if it's certain beings in that realm. And they, because there for a while after that happened, every time I would shut my eyes, there was somebody coming in with their eyeballs, trying to get me to come in their eyeballs. And it was creepy as hell. Like, you don't want to focus on their eyeballs. It's like a portal. And it's like they're sucking you into their world or something. So it was really creepy. And, but that mall was totally different. So this mall I went to last night was completely different. And I don't know if I've been to this place before, but it was like a trap. It was like oh yeah, because remember I talked about being in one before a couple weeks ago, and I was like trying to get away from somebody or something. It was like we were being followed by a gang, and but it was like this labyrinth, and it would just like you would just go from place to place. It was really creepy. So that's what this one was like last night. It was like a mall city, and it was really weird. And you just get so trapped. And it's like you're trying to find the parking lot, and then you're going over here. Well, that parking lot ends, but you need to get that parking lot. So where's that parking lot? You go back in, you go around, you go down here. It's like you're going through restaurants. You're going. It was like craziness. So it was like a maze, like a labyrinth or something. It was crazy how I couldn't find my way around. So how it had started, I was going somewhere. I'm not even sure because I had the dogs with me. So, and I may have had something to do with the vet, which I'll tell about that in a sec. So so I went, um, did something, but the dogs were in the car. So I don't know if I put them in the car and I saw a thrift store and I decided to go in the thrift store, but I got lost in the thrift store and I forgot like who I was, what I was doing, where I was, because I totally forgot I had dogs in the car. I'm just busily shopping, just going in, a robotic Shadowsville person. And then seems like somebody said something about some dogs were out in the car barking. And so then it was like, whoa, all of a sudden I remembered. So I start trying to get out of the store, start trying to get myself to this parking lot. And at this point, I'm like panicking. And so trying to get to this parking garage. So I get into this parking garage. I start walking around. Well, I can't find my car. And nothing looks familiar. I have no idea where I am. I can't hear the dogs. And so it was more panic. So I'm trying to find my way around. I can't find my way around. And the parking garage ends. So now I've picked up helpers who are trying to help me. So it was the same thing as before where we were being chased by a gang. All of a sudden I had like like people with me. So this was like that again, where I had these people with me now who are trying to help me find my dog and my car. So we're going in, we're going back in the mall, we're going back down, we're going through restaurant, we're going to all this stuff, trying to find this other parking garage, which time is ticking, and I'm like panicking. And so I'm trying to get to them, and then this person who's with me, he suddenly goes to work because he works at the mall. So then I'm back on my own, and then I'm lost, and I can't find my way to this parking garage. I don't know where it is. I don't know where my car is. I don't know where my dogs are. This place is like the size of a city or something. And then I find somebody like security or something, which I am sure it was my brother. I was like, am I meeting up with my brother in the dream and he's playing security at the mall? I don't know. Am I being tricked by an entity? So I don't know. It was weird. But so he sends me in a certain direction. So I go in that direction, then somebody else is going to help me. And then somehow it was like I was seeing something that I wasn't seeing. So it was like I was being directed like by my higher self who was showing me something. And it was like somebody was getting the dogs out of the car. And so then I'm really panicking, like, oh my God, how do I get to my car? Someone keeps pushing on my stuff. How do I get to my car? How do I get to my dogs? And so it was just so much anxiety in this dream. And it's so much not being able to figure my way around. So then I don't know. I remember it ending with somebody getting my dogs out of the car and the dogs running to me. And it was a happily ever after. But it was this long, drawn out, crazy ass dream of trying to find my way through this freaking mall. And it was horrible. So I don't know if that's because I keep hearing these people talking about that they're all meeting and going to this same mall. And they say like there's all these places. It's like a city or something. And so wherever I was last night, it definitely seemed like that. And that other time when it was that gang was chasing us, it definitely seemed like that. Kind of like this weird mall city where all these things were attached. I mean, you're trying to find your way through, and it was like a funhouse horror show or something. It was scary. So anyway, and I was running from this gang that wanted to kill us. So anyways, that was crazy. But that's kind of stuff like where I feel like anxious during the night, and then I don't know that. Like I feel exhausted. I'm so tired. And I just want to sleep. And you're not supposed to nap today, apparently, on the New Year. It's like, isn't that perfect, though? Isn't that what it's for? A day to relax? And it's kind of weird, too. Is like, I was thinking, I wonder, over there, it's probably a holiday. Here, it's not. Everybody's going to go to work and stuff. So, and you're not supposed to do all of these different things. Like, you have all these things you're supposed to do. You're supposed to stay home and, play games and be loud with your games because it pushes all the evil spirits away, and there's certain colors you're supposed to wear, certain there are a whole bunch of things. You're like not supposed to take a shower because that washes your prosperity away. You're supposed to wear red because that brings prosperity in. You're supposed to not cut your hair, not wash your hair because you're washing away. You're not supposed to take out the trash. So it's weird, but like if their culture is older and is more based on spirituality, and then over here, look at how they have us doing all of this stuff that we shouldn't be doing because everybody's going to go to work. People are going to be taking out their trash. They're going to be taking a shower, get ready for work, all of that stuff. So, but you're supposed to take a shower the night before. You're supposed to prepare all your food the day before, which yesterday I did. I prepared all my food the day before, but it wasn't, I wasn't so much thinking, oh, I got to prepare my food the day before, but it was kind of like I just felt the urge to prepare all my food yesterday. So I already have all my food made. I have the dog's food made, even though I'll probably have to make them more tonight. But anyway, so the situation now with Max. So I called the vet and they were open. So I left a message with the lady at the front. And so they didn't call me back until it was almost closing time. And told me, so what they said was I could come back in, and it was weird, the lights like fading in and out. It's like, I don't know, is it going to suddenly go off? So like PTSD. So the, and I don't even know how much storage I have on this thing. I got a lot of stuff to figure out, but I'm not using it for other things other than like my work. And so, which is what I call this to the dogs. I'm always like, I got to do my work. And which includes looking and seeing what's going on in the world. Because sitting here, nothing. I'm feeding dogs, taking care of, I'm a dog slave. So so anyways, they're like, well, you can come back in. We will rerun his labs, re-x-ray his throat and stuff. And so I'm like, and then or you can go to a specialist because they don't have the stuff, and get his throat scoped to look down and see if there's tumors or ulcers or what could be down in his esophagus. And so I made an appointment for Friday, but I think I'm going to cancel it because it just started playing through. And so it's like, okay, what would I do if it's this? What would I do if it's that? And basically it would be like, well, I'm not going to go. I mean, I'm already like $500 in on his stuff already. So I'm not going to go spend another $500 to have somebody look down inside of his throat and inside of his stomach. And so then it was, and it could even be like, I have no idea how much it would be because you probably have the appointment. And then whatever their solution is, that's going to cost. And so, and they're going to use, farm stuff. And so I'd rather use, nature stuff. And so what I'm doing is I have him on some kind of, I don't know, Q10 vitamin or something. And then I started him on the turkey tail. And the last few days I've been giving him the oregano black seed oil stuff. And so, that's no improvement yet. And I don't know if there will be. But the frustration in regards to the part that's super frustrating is the eating. I mean, if his throat closes off and he stops being able to breathe, well, then, because I'm not going to go in and have him start cutting his throat apart. And or doing surgery, cutting his stomach, like I'm not going to do that. If they come back and say, oh, well, he's got this, we need to go in and remove all this stuff. We need to put him on the CHEMO. We need to do radio, all that stuff. It's like, well, I'm not going to do all that. And because that usually is, what it takes him out faster than if they just went natural and you just did natural things. Because there's lots of people who've gotten years longer with their animals by the turkey tail to treat the big C. And so that's why I was like, well, I'm just going to do that because there's been so much success with that being a good treatment for it. And so, and every day I put the diatomaceous earth in their food and stuff. So try and keep all the, the parasite at a minimum. And the black seed oil, that should dry up more stuff. And he has a ton of mucus. I may just start giving more black seed oil too. That's a good idea. So and so my solution about the feeding thing, because that's what really gets to me. It's such a mess. And then even when every single water, I swear to God, he bounces from water dish to water dish. And they turn into some kind of sludge. And I think that's why he quits drinking one, because it becomes sludge. So he just moves on to the next one. He'll go, and in the middle of the night, he's up like drinking for a half hour straight. I don't know. It's probably not a half hour, but it is so freaking long. And the other night, Like last night, I noticed he was up and drinking for a long time. It's like, oh my God, I went to sleep and he was still drinking. But the other night, it was like he got up 3 times. So I don't know. He gets up multiple times and then he'll just drink and drink and drink and drink and not peeing. That's the weird thing. So is he even getting very much water? Is very much water going in his throat, or is he just creating a bunch of saliva and slime and putting it back in the dish? But anyways, it wrecks the waters for the other dogs, and they stress me out because if one of them goes over and they start drinking it, and it's like, I don't even know what the hell you're drinking there. You know, are you drinking pus? Are you gonna get sick too? And so that's part of my enslavement is I gotta be on top of these waters. I gotta be jumping around cleaning water dishes constantly all day long. And I try and when somebody wants water, because I've started trying to put water dishes up, and then when somebody goes over and they want water, I'll get them down, clean water, give them water, and then put it back up. And he is the first one every time. He runs to that thing every time I get them water. And he tries to bump them out of the way and get up there first. And I'm constantly, no, you have to sit and wait. They get a drink first because they're not going to turn it into some kind of slime creature. And plus the fact of having to go buy water, like I'm gonna have to go again tomorrow and go buy more water, and that is annoying too, because it's like I'm dumping water constantly. It's like, oh God, this is so aggravating, and I'm uncomfortable, so I gotta move around. So, anyways, so the that's annoying with having to dump water all the time. And so I'm going to, so what I'm going to do is that I've got a new crate coming for Ruthie because my my daughter loves Ruthie, right? And so I was doing some videos the other day because I keep doing video. Ruthie is crazy and she harasses Stella so much. And there was some funny ones yesterday because what Stella will do to annoy Ruthie, she'll lay across and block the door. So Ruthie will go in the other room or go into the bathroom and she'll get trapped because Stella will block the door. And yesterday it happened and Ruthie was going crazy. I wish I would have got a video of it. She was so pissed. And she'll sit and stare at me, and she is very vocal. She'll just keep going and going and talking and having a fit about it, and it keeps barking at Stella. And so then once Stella is finished harassing her, then Stella will just move, and then she'll come rushing in. And then a lot of times that's when she starts getting in Stella's face. And Stella will just sit there. Only it's funny too, because if you go in close and Stella's just sitting there, Stella's going, making this like growl face, like, rrr, rrr. Like, it's so funny because she just keeps lifting this one side, like, oh God. It's so funny. But anyway, so when I sent this video to my daughter showing Ruthie, and she was in her crate, and my daughter's like, that is way too small, mother. You can't have her in that small a crate. And I said, I didn't know. I thought this is a pretty big crate. And she's like, no, there's bigger ones. You need her a bigger one. So I got her a bigger one, which is, I went in and measured that one. And that one, I guess it would be more like medium, but it looks huge. And it's like a 36-inch one. Now I've got a 48-inch one coming. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue to feed her in her crate. And then also the trainer had said feed her in her crate and then give her treats in her crate. And then that gives her this space where she is like, it's her safe space. Like nobody can mess with my stuff. So it creates less aggression and creates less anxiety. So I'm going to continue that with her. And so then with the other one, I'm going to do that one is going to be Max's. So from now on, and it's just got, the bottom part. So I'm just going to take the tray out after he slobs it to death. Then I'm going to just put it in the shower, wash it, and put it back in. So I'm not going to have to do tons of laundry nonstop. All his slobber, food, gross slime. And so, and then I'm going to put his food dish in there and a water dish in. And so he will be able to just stay in there, finish eating, drink his water, so leave him in there for a while with his slobber, and then when he comes out, wipe his mouth right away. So I'm constantly having to chase him around, wiping his mouth because he's constantly. He has his like bitter old beer face too. It's just like, but when I was reading, it was saying the small dogs with smashed in faces that they are that I guess they're prone to this tonsillitis, which I had no idea. And so basically now I have another convalescent dog that and he's like 8 years old, and so which there it's a guess. He could be like 9, but still small dogs live to be like 15, 16 years old. So but now he's a convalescent dog, and Ruthie, she's got allergies, so I have to get a supplement for her. Stella's on a whole bunch of supplements. Archie's the only one who's got nothing going on. Yeah, but now it's like, oh, he's a smash face too. So, so who knows? I guess smash face dogs all have issues. Bulldogs, French bulldogs, and I guess pugs too. So, so anyways, that's gonna be my solution because I get so like, oh, so it's like constantly cleaning and cleaning and cleaning all this stuff. So that's gonna be my new way to try and see if that reduces some of it, and then just give him some natural stuff and see how we move forward. If he just keeps getting worse, then I'd be like, okay, well, this is going to be his time, because I don't believe in going in and start cutting them up like that. And that's always their solution. We'll cut them up, sauce, and then we'll flambe them, and then we'll put them on some farms. And so, and I'm, not into the farm solution, even though I did give them each that run through but neither of them had any success. Oh yeah, and they said they would do in the labs, I guess they would test and see if he has resistance to the certain one. But in the test of people who test like natural stuff and everything, they said oregano oil beat out all of the different ones that they tried and they did it in a petri dish. So the petri dish with all these different bacteria, all these different bugs, and then they used or what was it? Was it just a certain one? And then they had each petri dish was a certain stuff from a farm, and then the other one was the oregano oil. The oregano oil is the only one that defeated whatever it was that they were trying to test on. So I was like, well, I think I'm going to do that. So anyways, that's going to be one thing, and I'm probably going to cancel that appointment, because that's what the thing is, man. You just run up a bill nonstop. I saw somebody talking about, because I see people talking about their dog stuff all the time online. And it's weird too, because you have all these people who will be like, oh my God, don't go to social media and ask questions about your pet. Take them to a professional. And it's like, look at the programming in people. Like, why wouldn't you network? If somebody else is already having this, if their dog's having the same thing, and you get to find out that your dog is doing something similar and what's working for them, like, that's networking. Why wouldn't we network? Why would we just be like, oh no, we go to the professionals for it all? Because that's where we start running up bills that are outrageous. And this one was, I think it was a French bulldog, and it was something, I don't remember what it had, and so I guess it was like a serious thing or something. And so they were asking in the comments, so there was a whole bunch of that kind of stuff, but there was a whole bunch of, oh well, get pet insurance. It's like, look at how we're just trained in this world, go to the professionals, get some insurance. It's like, no, we got to do stuff different. We don't just keep playing their game. It's like they're the ones who created this nonsense, and it doesn't end until we stop playing along. Which, that one guy, I saw this kid the other day. I may have talked about it, I don't remember. But he was a younger guy, and he had done a video saying, where's all the protesters now? Like, you guys out there protesting for every little thing. Why aren't you out there right now? I mean, isn't this big news? Isn't this something that you would be protest worthy? Like, and you guys are just all not doing it. And it really triggered some woman from the blue side because she made sure to be very distinctive about what she said. So she stitched him to let him know what a piece of shit he was and how entitled he was because he was eating some crackers, Cheez-Its. He said, I ate 4 Cheez-Its. And can you not afford Cheez-Its? I'm so entitled because I have Cheez-Its. Because he stitched her back, and that's the video I saw. I saw it this morning. And so she's losing her mind, which the room she's in, it does look like she's a teacher. And he said, God, I hope you're not a teacher. And this back and forth argument of his stitch. His stitch was really good because it goes back and forth between her saying stuff and him saying stuff. Her saying stuff and him saying stuff. It was like this argument you're watching. And he was making so many good points. And so she had some responses. And she said that they... how dare him, so you're trying to say that it's all on us, and she was the one who was saying, categorizing who it was that is protesting. She's the one who said, he just said protesters. She was specific. And he'd say, so you're saying that's who's protesting. And so, but she also is saying that, what a piece of shit he is because who he picked. He said, I never said anything about who I picked. I'm against politics. I know it's both sides. So, yeah. I mean, this woman has so much projection, so much assumption in her argument. And he keeps pointing out all of her assumption. Even when she's saying, how entitled he was. He was like, well, my dad was a meth head. Don't even know where he is. My mom was a single mom. She had to work 3 jobs. I had to start working at 15. And I've had a very hard, difficult life. And so to say I'm entitled is not accurate. But you don't know me. And you're sitting here judging me. And but she was in her response to what they have done. So what they have done is they demanded that those files come out. It's all because they demanded it, because they are trying to prove what a piece of shit Donald is. And so they've been demanding this a long time, and they've done their part by making sure that this information gets out. It's like, see how this is going to flip? Things are going to flip so dramatically because they really believe all this stuff about him. And it's just not, it's not true. But in their belief system, it is true. So it's very curious how this is all going to play out, especially for them to think, because they are the ones that were saying that we were all crazy. And it was the Anons and the MAGAs, they were the ones who've been out saying forever, like, this stuff is going on and losing their minds. I saw another video yesterday of a woman stitching, and she's an MAGA or an ANON, and she was stitching one of the more progressives that who were losing their mind. They're screaming and crying. When they're putting this video out, and they're screaming and crying and having a meltdown, and how do we exist? How do we keep moving? How do we do things when we know that these people are doing this? Because they're all at this point now that they can't sleep. They don't want to go to work. They don't want to pay this. They don't want to deal with it. And it's like, we were all doing that before. And they thought we were completely mental and crazy. And, all the stuff that we were saying was mental. And so the woman who was stitching is like, oh, I'm so happy. I'm so happy you guys have joined us now. Because, yeah, we were all the ones that were, like, losing it before. Like, how do we go on in a world like this? You guys wake up. Listen to us. And I'm like, no, you voted for it. And so it's like, no, this, a lot of these people too, they don't realize like the foliage, because the junior and senior and all of these different people who are involved in Barack, like they're all involved. Hitler, like I can't wait for her big testimony, because I'm sure it's going to be very enlightening to some of these people, because they're all ready to tune in because they think that she's going to expose all this stuff about Donald. And so they're all, on the edge of their seats ready for this. And so I would assume that it's going to really kind of, but they'll keep trying to write the story the way they believe. Oh, it's a trick and stuff. So anyways, so now they are, losing their minds like we were. And they, told us all that we were crazy and that we were, get off the internet. Don't believe everything you hear and stuff like that. But, to their, what is that word? To their defense, it was being blasted on their media that it was all made up and it was a cult and we were all crazy and stuff like that. So they were being blasted that information as we were trying to say what was going on. And so it took them in a different direction. And that's also been exposed in the files, that they did all that on purpose. And but we all were going through all of our nights of not being able to sleep. And, how do we continue to support these people? How do we do all this? How do we function in this world? Why do we want to keep this world going? It's so toxic. It's so horrible. And so anyways, but they're all there, but they're only at the part of all crying and screaming and frustrated and stuff. So we've been, we've had to go through the different stages of grief. We've had to be pushed because there was nothing we could do. We got called crazy all the time. Honey, I don't know what to tell you. Just turn around, Stella. And that's the thing too, is I'm just I mean, there's nobody to really pray to. There's just, I'm trying to really trust that we're really gonna get, if we get pushed out again from April, I'm gonna be bummed, because I'm just trying to make it till then. And that would be the big thing too with all the dogs, because they get a little visit in there and get to heal. And that's, I'm just trying to get there mentally, physically, the whole thing, emotionally. And the lady I care most about in this world. And so, well, that sounds kind of harsh. Like if my kids heard that they would be like, see, she hears more about her dogs than she does us. But no, you know what I'm saying. This is my life presently. This is what my life is right now. And when I had kids, we had a pet dog. I keep thinking, like, is this my karma? Because I wasn't as tuned into the dogs back then when I had kids. And so now, Lucy was the opening to the learning because of what happened with her. And then when Stella came in, your spirit animal is there to really teach you a lot of stuff. Okay, she's going to hit into my stuff. Honey, just turn around, honey. I don't know what you want me to do. You beautiful girl, you. I know you're not happy about something. Well, I don't know. Stella, just turn around. I don't know what you're upset about. Go on the bed if you're not comfortable. Because she'll start doing this when she feels like somebody else is closer to me than she is. And she's close, right? She's right here. Like, see if we can. There she is, Mrs. Beautiful. She's my little queenie. And see, this is her personality too. She's very, not like a eye contact kind of thing. She doesn't often make where she's just going to look me dead ass in the eye. She'll always like look and then look away. It's very, look away. What is it, honey? What is it? What are you sad about? What are you having a fit about? Well, I don't know. So funny too, because it just looks like she's not that huge right there. But if you got her head up next to mine, her head's way bigger than mine. What? Oh, what? Okay, you're gonna knock all my little setup over. Oh, I love. Oh, there we go. I knew it was coming. That's my light because it's just standing there. I've got a little, like, those little wooden tray table things. That's what my computer's sitting on. My light's sitting on. Then I got this ottoman thing. My room is small. You can see how small it is. Oh my God, what is in the world? And they all put all their weight on me all the time. Well, the weight thing is more abrupt or more distinguishable with her, and then with also Ruthie. God, she puts all her weight on me all the time. There's the bathroom. Look at this. This is my room. So, anyways, so we all had to go through all these stages of grief where we had to, continue to exist in a world that is full of a bunch of psychos. And then, and this, I think it was on Twitter, and, which, Amy had sent me this video. So somebody was showing this video off of Twitter, I'm pretty sure. And so it's supposed to be Ellen and Portia. But they are very dolled up in some kind of really weird kind of costumey thing. And so they have this weird, like, yeah, it is like, it's not tinfoil hair, but it's streamers kind of like, and these big weird glasses, which that seems to be kind of popular right now, like these really weird big glasses. But so they have these really big weird, but these are like clown glasses. So they both have these on. So I was like, nah, is that really them? Because of all of this stuff. So it kind of hides their true identity. Because they come out and with this big garb on, and they start singing and dancing to "You Would Taste So Good" or something, some song. I recognize this song, but I can't think. But the words is something about "You look like you would taste good" or something. And so what the lady was showing was the comments. So she showed them over the top doing their little, and then the comments, which you can imagine all the comments. Almost every single person was calling them out for being the ball of Ken, and it was one after another, and people would write it 100 times. And so I was like, well, I can't imagine that she would really come out and do that, because I think some of these people are smarter than, I mean, they were able to get away with so much of this stuff, and she's real creeper. I mean, one of the things of, like, her just wearing that shirt of Wilson, and what Wilson represents is, when you don't have a face, and, which is what they do. So, and then also, back in 2020, I think, there was a lot of stuff about them when, Tom's, they were all passing these messages. Where's Tom? Gotta just get Tom back. Is Tom okay? And all that stuff. Which also, that James Spader was passing messages. So I don't know who all was involved. And they're always trying to pull him out of the woodwork, see who's who and what's up. So, but there was, she kept having bracelet on her ankle. That was another thing. So many of these people had bracelets on their ankle. And so she was one, and it was like she was doing some video like this or something, when she had her thing up and people could see. So everybody zooming in and could see what was on there. And so that's back when, all us crazy people were talking. And people were all sharing stuff. See, look at what they're doing. Look at this. Look at that. They're going to arrest. They're all this stuff. And I was having that word come out of my mind again. The indictment. Okay, the closed in. No, they're not closed. They're not silent. They're not hidden. but all of these, where there was supposedly like 174,000 of these, but we couldn't see who the names were. So they were closed to us. We couldn't see the names, but they had all of these were already registered. All these like arrest warrant things, or you're going to come and appear, and so that was way back in 2022. So and then certain people were out doing stuff and doing all these videos and stuff, and one of them was showing, like, she's sitting here, and the art behind her on her couch was creepy. I don't remember what it was. It was very creepy. I think you can look up probably still shots of it. But yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, she's definitely. And then all of the ones that on her show, she'd have them all coming on talking about all these pizza parties and stuff. Jennifer, even when Jennifer stood in for her when Ellen was gone on vacation, whatever the hell, and Jennifer was the one who was doing the show for her. Everybody come in. Oh, we've had pizza before, haven't we? We love pizza, don't we? And it's like, oh my God, you creepers. And so there's lots of that stuff. And so I would conjecture or guess that Ellen is involved, and she wouldn't be coming out exposing herself like that, that they have somebody in there who's playing the part, and that's why they have all these crazy wigs and glasses and stuff, so that you can't tell that it's not really her. And so because everything is being exposed, so I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of these people who are so evil and corrupted. It's hard for me to imagine they're just sitting around their house doing a bunch of nothing. And I think a lot of them are whatever they're, because the thing is when you're talking about, like, some of these people are not ancient beings, but some of them are ancient beings. The ancient beings, like, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, you can't just, I don't know, you cut off their head, then you, everybody stand back and don't let them infiltrate you, don't let them get inside your body, like, put them in a chamber where you catch it, and then you put it in a black box and throw it out in the cosmos, like, I don't know, I don't know what, anyone who would be considered to be human who went and played along in this weirdo game, then they would, they could be, dismissed from the game. They could be like, okay, well, your time's up, bye-bye. But I just saw a guy who was talking about his NDE, and he was saying, so he passed, and he said he was in the light, and in the light he had these beings coming, and he said they were so excited to see him. Everybody was just like giddy and so excited. They're saying, tell us about what you did, what's going on, and all this stuff. And he's very confused. And so then they're like, well, just tell us what you've been doing. And they keep laughing because he can't remember them. He's like, who are you people? And they're laughing and stuff, like, he doesn't remember us. Just tell us about, like, what the experience was. What did you do down there? And he's becoming very confused. So this other being shows up. He said it was like a being of light, and they were just light. And he said that he could feel the love and the warmth coming from them and the acceptance. So they were very, engulfing in love and acceptance and stuff. And they said some stuff to him, but he said he could feel like there's no judgment, and there's nothing, no shame or judgment or anything like that. And so they said, well, explain, tell us what you've been doing. And so he starts telling them, and then they said, well, that's enough. And you have to go back. He said when he was there, he had forgotten everything about his life. He was all caught up, kind of like I was at that mall. Forgot I had dogs in the car. So so he was all caught up in the thing where he was like, he had forgotten, that this world, he forgot he was married. He forgot he wasn't thinking about any of that stuff. And then so then they were zipping him back. So he had to go back. And he'd even asked him, well, are we going to go over my life review? We're going to look over, we're going to look at that. And they were like, no. And they were sending him back. And he was like, it's always a thing is people don't want to go back. And he said, as he was going back into his body, he started feeling all of this pressure back, all of this stress and all the emotions. As he said, there, everything is pure. You don't have any of that stuff. But what he really realized was that we're going back into a game, a projection of an experience through the avatar. So you are like, as a soul, an entity, you are going into an avatar to experience something. And he said it's all set, just like I've been saying, and that it is a set experience. So you're birthed into a certain experience so you can learn and grow from each experience. But that's more than that, even, because they're all like connected. So a lesson is bigger than just this one life. You go through a whole bunch of them to learn one thing, and which all the things are about the opening your mind, accepting others, not being judgmental, not being hateful, being it's like the journey to love and acceptance, and you've got to let go of all the things that are in the way of that, all your obstacles, that to be completely like of the light, of just accepting, and loving. And so that's what the journey is all about. And the goal, is to reach up and to be of the light, of being of all accepting and all of everybody. You don't judge them. You don't look at them like, they're stupid or anything. And here she comes again. God, she's so cute. What do you got on your face, lady? Got some fuzz? Oh, you're such a pretty girl. You're such a pretty lady. So he was, but he said that when he came back into his body and all the stuff was coming back into his life, that he really realized, like, oh, this is like a game. This is like a movie. Like, you come into this experience and you ride an experience. Like, you have a set experience that you're coming in for. And I swear to God, it doesn't matter how far I go. This is how I end up on the edge of the bed. They'll just push more over. You move over, they push more over. You move over, they push more over. No, here we go. There's Ruthie. She's like, oh, you're trying to get attention? Because I need it all. No, Ruthie, you're not climbing on me. Oh, my God. See what I'm fucking ordeal? No. She don't care. She's like, I'm obsessed. I've got to. And she's always got to be, wherever Stella is, she tries to go between me and Stella. Because she can't stand. She's so jealous. Stop. Oh my God, it's a fucking wrestle my whole day. So, anyways, Jesus Christ, this day, it's already going. So, but there was a lot of confirmation. No, stop it. There was a lot of confirmation. No, stop. For me, all the stuff he was saying, because it's stuff I've been saying for a long time about this world. And so no, oh my God. Okay, we're gonna go in here in a second. Stop. I swear to God, this is how it was all night too. I couldn't believe last night. Stop. She does not stop. Stop it, Ruthie. Go sit down. Yeah, the only way you can get her to follow commands is if you're in the midst of training and she has, stop biting me. And you have, TREATs. Then Stella gets mad because then Stella knows she's harassing me and Stella doesn't like it. You gotta see it this way Stella gets this really stoic look. That's my mom. See her? See the little... She's like... Oh, she's even making the noise. Oh, but it doesn't bother Ruthie. Ruthie's like, oh, that'll be fun. Look at it. Oh, we're playing now. That's all I want. Play, play, play all the time. This is the kind of stuff I do shorts of. Oh God, I'm tired already. Oh God. So and now she's got the hiccups. That's the thing that's funny too, is that she's ginormous, but she's still a puppy with hiccups. Oh, did you hear her talk? She's very vocal. She's a blabbermouth. Oh, now Stella's taking the bone. She's like, well, I'm gonna take this bone, bitch. And Stella does still have the stank on her. I'm doing all these things for vaginitis I can do. I don't even know what else to do. I just want these med beds. Like, I'm going to be really disappointed if, I'm like, come on, man. So if we get to April, and it's just like, oh, well, we're going to move it now. Because now, another weird thing. So there's a movie coming out in June called Disclosure or something like that. And it's got, what's her name? Oh, she's about to roll off the bed. She does that too all the time. She throws herself right off the bed. And then she looks around like, who did that? You did. So, leave that alone. No, Ruthie. She starts licking Stella's wound. So, anyways, because the one big one on her neck opened up. And so I've got medicine and stuff on it. But anyways, so this movie Disclosure is coming out. But the part I saw was, what's her name? Is it Emily? I think she's the one married to John Kevin, whatever. One of these girls. And so she's a news person, but she's, oh my God. Stop! Right now! Water's way over there. So she is, a news person, but she's really an alien. So I don't know what all is in this Disclosure movie. And so it's supposedly to let us know there's aliens amongst us. And but they're saying, oh, well, Donald has a letter that he's already written to address the Disclosure and let us all know that they're real and they're here with us and stuff. Well, why are you waiting until June? What has it got? Like, what? Like, that is absurd. Like, some of this stuff is absurd. So, we're going to talk about this, but we're going to talk about it in June when the movie comes out. Give us a fucking break, man. Start talking about it now. And I just saw somebody saying, people are so tore up about all this, consumption. But he said that they don't even realize what's really going on because, they're really bringing in, getting people like trainfuls and feeding them to other beings, and that's all a set up thing too. And it's like, yeah, there's a bunch of us who've been saying that, and so there's a lot of things in this world to be like, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of that. But we're in here to play in this game, this role, this period of time, this period of existence. In our time as a being, we have gone through a lot of different scenes through different periods of time in this existence. And so this is like the closing show. This is the season finale. The series finale. We're in the series finale of this world that we've been playing all these different parts in. And so it's the wrap up. And so all of your stuff that you've played all comes together at a point of a center point. That is the point of release, where you find your center. And you've been pulled in all these directions through these different lifetimes. And so anyways, but the NDE, he was saying, you come into this game, it's like a video game or a movie or something, and you come into this avatar that is all clicked in, and you a projection of experience through the eyes of this being you're pretending to be. And because you go through all this learning and stuff, and it's a very heavy, dark place. And especially right now, it's very dark, heavy place. Like, I think there's different lifetimes, that we've come in and we've had some fun. We've done some stuff and a lot of experiences. But at this point in time, it's a very heavy, revealing time, because we have to really see what this real world is and what we have been coded to believe. Like, we have believed that this place was very different than what it is. And our senses, even when our senses were telling us, we denied them and we tried to believe in the world that they had told us was here. But now our senses are coming on, and it's revealing to us that this world is very different than what we believe, and then they are showing us. And so, yeah, all these people, like I said, it's like we go in like these sections, like, and we were in a section where we discovered a lot of this truth, like about a decade ago at this point. And because mine started in 2016, and I know all of you guys who listen to me, yours didn't just start yesterday either. I mean, there could be a couple people who were there who theirs started more recent, but a lot of us, we have been awakening for a long while. And so we've gone through the process of being very sad and stressed out about what has been going on around us, and the feeling of not being able to control it, not being able to do anything to stop it. And then even when you try and speak out to people, you get called crazy, and they they were still in denial, and now they're in the point of being but it's funny because of their attitude towards us, and now it's just, I don't know, it is funny. It is funny, kind of. I mean, it seems mean to be laughing at some of this stuff, but it is kind of funny because that we were them. We were them a few years ago, and how we were treated, and now watching them go through what we went through, it's just kind of like, oh, yeah, it's rough, man. But you'll get through it. You'll get through it. And you guys are a lot closer to the time of change than we were. Like, we had to really, trust a lot. And change was coming. Big things were going to be changing. And so we're still, we haven't even reached the point of change. But we have, there's a lot of stuff being revealed. And a lot of it has to do because we create the change. It's like we create it. And and if they just ran in and arrested everybody, then like I said, what would they do with them? Because some of these beings are, what are you gonna do with them? And another thing, we would just go back to going to sleep, just go back to routine, just going back to just our same old stuff, because we would be dependent on somebody else fixing it for us. And in this case, we are not having anybody fix it for us. We have to continue on the journey of like, how do you do this? And it comes to a point where we all want something different. We want a different world. And I don't know how many more things, more collapses. There's lots of people still, like this California thing just gets more on the edge. Oregon, Seattle, like the whole western coastline. And so there's a lot that we're on the precipice, right on the edge. We're on the edge of the cliff looking out. And so there's a lot of things that still probably will occur. And we just have to, so I don't know what all happens to actually change humanity, but it's the humanity, the humans are the ones that change the world. Like, they begin to create the world they want. And you have more people who are going in that direction, trying to create communities and new places and new ways of existence. But it's going to become bigger. It's like going to become a huge movement where we're going to, fall into a new way of being, because that's what we all desire. And so how much of it has to do with us creating through our abilities, I don't know. Those are all things that we're going to learn and start to understand about ourselves and about this place and the control we have. And so there's a lot that's going to be going on, and there's a lot that continues to go on. And I've heard more talk about the higher vibration, and once we reach that point, because this technology that's going to come in to heal us and our stuff to raise our vibration and stuff, we won't be, we're going to become tuned into our eternal being. And we're going to tune out of this controlled reality. And so it's this transitional period, really. It's been in transition for a long while. And so we're in a transitional period. So we don't want to be getting mad at each other and irritated. It is, I mean, it's hard to not laugh at some of this stuff, but it is this period of time of all this transition. And there's going to continue to be things brought in through the catalysts of, but they're not going to come in and fix it. Like they can't just come in and be like, well, we'll arrest them all and then you guys can just go back to working all the time. No, they're trying to pull out certain things and exchange them for a more productive way of being. But like the financial, the medical, like a whole bunch of things, even the media, like how our information is transferred around. And that still is a big thing right now, because all these people who are talking about these files, and they're losing their accounts, or they're starting to learn about the censorship that we were all learning about a while ago. And so it's just this progression. It's like in a series of waves. We're out further now, they're up closer, but there's still people who are like on the shore. And so the waves will come in and get them and then start moving. But every time something comes in, we move out further. And the further we get away from this place, the more that we see the necessity, like, to create a new one. And so there's something that will, things will start falling better into place too. But yeah, nobody can come in and fix it for us. Nobody can just come in and be like, okay, well, we'll just arrest them all and everything will be fine. Because people would just go right back to sleep, right back to robotic life. And that's what is not going to happen. Because what we are here to do is create a new world. And we have to be pushed to do it. And we have to be, it's like you have a kid who is, you have to go in 100 times and tell them to get up. You're going to be late for school. And so it's kind of like that's what we have. A bunch of kids, you have to go in 100 times and say, hey, you need to get up. You need to get up. I told you to get up. And so it's a long, drawn-out series of events to get us to the point of true change. And so we will get there because it's written. We're here and the story's written. And that's, I think, something that people just can't wrap their heads around, because, well, then what's the point? Why would I do this? Why would I do that? Because you're coming in to experience yourself in a certain storyline. So this story is written, and you're getting an opportunity to exist in it and to understand yourself, like your choices, what you do, how you look at things. It's all about you, learning about you. And so, yeah, but the storylines are written. I've been saying that and saying that and saying that for so long. And everything is exact. The people you encounter, they're there to help you, trigger you, to push you into bringing things to the surface so that you can continue your transition. And so at this point now, we have supposedly, in the Chinese astrology, we have finished our shedding part, and now we're into the point of movement. So there's going to be a lot more movement this year pushing us into change. It's like the exchange for a new world. And who knows how it's all going to go down. But yeah, I don't think they're going to just, I think that there's going to, I think there's already been a lot of arrests and stuff like that. I think there's already been a lot of, but there's also beings that, what are you going to do? They already know they're eternal. They know how to jump around. They know how to go into different beings and stuff. So, yeah. We got a lot going on in this spiritual world. Like it's not so cut and dried as what we want to believe it is. It's a lot more supernatural. And so, anyways, but the thing is we continue to pull free out of their world and begin to create our own. And there's going to be more movement towards that as we continue to go. So that's the thing. And you got to remember, there's still people on the shore. And the people who are just coming out with the waves, we've already been there. And that's where we get it tested on our empathy and compassion. And so, you don't want to get all caught up in telling all of them, you're stupid, you should listen to begin with. And we tried to tell you, even though, that stuff's going to come out of your mouth and come into your mind, but it's not the attitude that you want to have is like, oh, you're a bunch of stupid asses. Who cares? We already did it. And you guys, too bad for you. You want to just kind of remember like, oh yeah, it's rough. It's rough, man. It's hard. It's hard when you're facing this stuff. And it is going to get worse. It is going to get darker. And they are not going to see it coming. And I don't know if that's what, HRC is going to bring to the table this week or what. And who even knows? Like, there's so many times when they say something's going to happen and then it doesn't happen. So are they really going to be in front of anybody? Or is it just going to be this continuous, oh, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, this is going to happen. And because it's like absurd stuff. Like, why in the world, if Donald's got it all written out and he's ready to tell us, why are we waiting till June? Like, what is just come out and say it. Like, most of us know. So, and then you still have the people like, oh, well, everything he does, it's, to try and trick us or whatever. So you guys just don't even, I just can't wait till we get to a certain point. Like, it's going to be so much more calmer waters. It's like once we're all out in open water, and then we're not being hit with all these waves of change, then it's going to be a lot calmer. And then we're going to swim to shore to create a new world. Like, so right now, you just got to get your lifeboat. You got to get on your life preserver and just dog paddle until we get there, till we get through all this. And at some point, then it's going to be like, oh, feels so much better. And right now, we're still in such a chaotic time because there's still so much revealing and unfolding of the information, and there's been so much resistance. But you got to remember, the resistance comes from the mind control and the spirits being lost. And so once they are found, then they have a whole process to go through of letting go and healing and recognizing these dark sides of themselves. So right now they're very focused on the dark sides of this world, but there will be a part in the process where they're going to have to recognize the dark sides of them. And that's where the healing really begins. And that's what the souls are all here for. The souls are all here for this release, the healing part. It isn't so much about the destiny where we're going. It's much more of the healing for all the souls that have been through because if you look at it like the period of time of all these different realities as being like a big chapter book. So we've all been in different chapters. And so, but the book is closing, is the series finale. It's the end of this book. It's the end of this storyline. And so all of the different stories that we've been in, this is like the wrap up. This is the release. This is the, your what is that called? The hero's journey. This is you coming out the victor, of going through all this and being able to find yourself and become who you truly are. And so it's, that's what it's really about. That's what this whole thing is about. And so it's not just this 3D world. I mean, what essentially happens eventually is that the souls that become their truest, their the focus of the creator, then they will begin to create realities of existence that are happy places. And so that is and some people will keep themselves in a place that we wouldn't consider to be happy, but they still have things to learn and to grow through. And so there's no right or wrong way. There's no like, oh, well, they're the good ones and they're the bad ones. They're the chosen. They're the stupid. They're the NPCs. It's not that. It just is what the soul is here to experience. And there's just, I'm speaking to the souls that are here to experience the new, to become the creators. So I'm here to speak to the creators, the other creators that are here to create a new world, and trying to help kind of maneuver and keep, like the cheerleader of like, we're going to win this game. Come on, people, and we'll get through it. And to get your life preserver. It's going to be okay. We'll get through it. We'll get out there. Because right now, yeah, we are out. I mean, you may still be in a point of being the ripples coming through and really affecting you, but everything that affects you is you are here to release it. So you got to acknowledge it. You got to, go in on it and trying to dissect yourself, trying to understand yourself so you can release the parts that you don't want anything to do with, your pain and suffering, your anger, your resistance, your bitterness, your all of those vindictive sides of yourself. I mean, so those are the parts of you that you want to let go of. So when the triggers come in or the ripples come in of what's happening, and you get affected, that's what you are to do, is focus on you. But at a certain point, yeah, there's going to be a lot of people who have cleansed themselves. They've cleared all of the dark energy off of them, and they are going to focus on the creator, being the creator, creating. And so that's where, there's a lot of us going in that direction. And so that's, more of what my focus is understanding what's happening here, and then using it to your best interest by cleansing your soul, cleansing yourself, so that you can move into the vibration where you want to be, where, you have to be of love and light, and you have to be pure of heart, pure of intention. So it's like a confirmation. So anyways, but that's what you want to do, as far as I'm concerned, is that's the focus. And so, yeah, then to try and sit there and think, oh, well, they're going to fix it for us. They're going to solve all this. And even if they did, even if they come in and they, all these massive arrests, which there is some happening, is that's still not going to solve it. It's still not going to fix it all. And so it's more, of facing ourselves and wanting a new world, wanting a better world. And so that's this book is closing, and we're opening a new one. We're starting a new storyline. We're starting a new chapter. And we, the souls who are in that transitional period, we are like on the bridge moving towards the new story. As this story is ending, it's, all chaotic, but the new one will be beginning. And it will be a better story. I don't know. If you like love and if you like a love and acceptance, if you like peace and harmony, it's a better place. So, but you have to be able to vibe with that. So, anyways, that's what I see. That's how I understand it. And we'll see what happens today. What more things occur, because every day there's going to be occurrences, whether big or small. It depends on each person how they're affected. So whatever affects you, make sure you work on it, and then just stay in the heart of realizing this is all temporary. With the world we're going to create, that's where it's going to be like eternal. It's going to be like we're going to be able to live there as long as we want to live there. And so when you put it into perspective, this is a small moment in time, but we're heading to one that's going to be a bigger one. So, and it's so difficult, I mean, this is the hard stuff that we're going through, and it's frustrating, because it's like I'm telling you, my life revolves around, like, I feel like I'm just this dog slave. Like, my whole day revolves around just, what do the dogs need? I gotta go change the water, I gotta go open the door, go shut this door, go open that door, go make food, go. It's just like just going around and around and around and around in circles. That's why I say, like, I feel like I'm in some kind of loop sometimes, and it's frustrating, and I feel taken advantage of a lot of times. It's like a part of me is facing, like, yeah, I think give and take is important. Giving out more energy than what anybody's giving back to you, it is draining, and you do become frustrated, and you do become upset. And it's not, you do have to do it with the purest intentions. And even when you are, you can still, like, when the tension builds, and it's just like every 2 seconds somebody's taking something from you, and you can't even get sleep because they're on top of you and stuff. Yeah, it does build up tension, and then you do have to process it, and you have to keep, bringing yourself back to center and letting go of all of this stuff. So, and I know everybody's got stuff going on in their worlds, in their lives, because that's what. God, this allergy is really. So, anyways, that's that. So we'll see what happens today. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Um, what is it? Oh yeah, I was thinking today was Sunday, but no, it's Tuesday. So Tuesday the 17th, Fire Horse Day. So anyways, we'll see. Now, yeah, we're dead ass in the middle of the week. So we'll see. We'll see what happens today, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. But until then, don't forget, what's important is learning how to love yourself, learning how to love everybody else, and learning how to have the day you want. It's part of your skills. So, anyways, work on your skills, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Bye. Oh yeah, and tomorrow we'll also go live. So we'll talk in the morning, then Crystal and I will be live in the afternoon. So everybody can get in there and chat about whatever they want to chat about. So, anyways, Bet, we'll talk in the morning. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.